switches. I can't sleep. I was thinking about the afterlife and where we go when we die.
Hey, what are you doing in my house?
Couldn't sleep. Saw you making these videos, so I figured I'd come through, make my own video.
Well, you could have done it on your couch.
I don't have a fancy camera. What am I supposed to do? Record this with my iPhone?
I mean, you could. You
Potentially.
Could. I mean, you're welcome here. You can.
I do have a key.
Come in. You do have a key.
I forgot I had.
Did you remember before you got to the door or after?
Like,
or like before you? I don't know what I'm asking. I can't sleep either. So this is convenient. We can't sleep. Might as well ramble on YouTube
about the afterlife.
About the afterlife.
So what sparked this thought is, you know how I had this the other day and I needed to get this voiced out. Have you ever heard of the idea where, like, your own... Because there's different religions. And different religions and ideologies have different ideas of what the afterlife entails.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, my favorite one is the one where what happens to you after you die is the result of what you believe will happen to you after you die.
Yeah, I have that thought about the afterlife. There's a religion that says that?
No. It's just a thought.
Just kind of a...
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I doubt I came up with it, but I've just had that thought before that, like, what if all religions aren't wrong? And none of them are right on as far as the afterlife goes. Yeah. But none of them are wrong either. There's no way to prove which ones are wrong and right when it comes to the afterlife. Right. Because the only ones who know are the ones that have passed on.
Yeah, so like, the only way to prove it is to prove it to yourself. You can't bring that evidence back here.
No.
Unless...
Not like Jonathan Livingston Seagull.
Jonathan Livingston Seagull could do it. He did do it.
You surpassed it.
He did. That book was amazing.
But what got me thinking about this, yet again, because I've thought about that several times, and it almost makes me want to believe in the afterlife, that the best one I can come up with.
Mm-hmm.
Because currently I just believe that I become space dust.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no hopes or expectations beyond that.
Right.
Which is why I try to live my life to the fullest. Or at least enjoy my life to the fullest. I don't know if I'm living it to the fullest. Yeah. But what got me thinking about that is the Matrix. And all of the people that lived their entire lives within the Matrix. And I was like...
I'll get that.
Someone else coming through?
No. It's my alarm. It's time to get up.
Well,
if I happen to sleep this late.
Get up, you dead.
Yeah, because I'm a vampire.
Welcome
it's 2 a.m. I need to feed.
Well, I'm a vegan.
Your neck, like there's hair, man. I don't want to bite into that.
Yeah. There's a fly in my neck.
In your neck?
Well, you don't want any of my vegan blood.
I did a cartoon about a vegetarian vampire. Like a little comic when I was young. And it resulted in vampire onions.
Anyways, so in the Matrix, they don't know anything about the real world or anything of that nature. I suppose like I'm talking in circles because they live their lives in the Matrix, and when they die, they just get disposed of because their bodies no longer power the machines. But like with the idea, like I was just thinking, they don't know anything outside of it, so they don't have the option to even consider an afterlife.
Right. Except everyone in the Matrix who's plugged in, they have all the same religions as we do. So they all have a belief in an afterlife or not. They believe, but really, there is no like, well, I guess from them it's a whole other level. When that life ends, they are arguably in the afterlife or in the next to the parallel life. It's not really after or before, but it's also both. But if they wake up, is what I mean. Like, that would be the afterlife. And I mean,
yeah, true.
That's kind of what I think in terms of...
Except it would seem like hell.
Right, it would be hell, and everyone goes to hell in that scenario if you wake up. But, that's kind of like I look at if there is a experiential continuation of existence beyond the lifespan of our physical bodies, then I think it's a lot like waking up. Like, this is the caterpillar, death is the cocoon. It's like you're the same. It's a continuation of what you were doing, but on a higher conscious level, so that what you were doing looks way more like a dream or a VR game or something like that you're just plugged into. But I also think that if there isn't an experiential continuation, like, then we still, it's like death isn't, we don't cease to exist, is what I'm saying, even though, because like this is what I've been chewing on in my head lately, is the difference between experiential space-time and existential space-time. And like experiential space-time, your journey through experiential space-time is you are born, you grow up, you have episodes that make up your life, you live a story, and you die. That's your experiential life. But your existential life doesn't have a beginning or an end, because space-time, it's not like we're generating new time as we go. The future exists, the past exists, the present exists. We are experientially in the present, but we are existentially also in the past and the future. Like those, it's like we only experience one moment at a time. It's like going up a zipper or something, or one side of a zipper only on, and like, but we exist in every point of that time because the past doesn't cease to exist. The future doesn't begin to exist. Everything just is what I think. That all of time and space is simultaneous if you're outside of it. Like if you remove yourself from space-time and look at it, it's all there. Like a record. You put the needle on and it tells you, it sings you a song. But every point in that song, they don't cease to exist when the needle passes it, Like, and it's not like, it's just always there. The whole record is there. And that's kind of how I look at, like, if there isn't a spiritual afterlife, we don't cease to exist. And it's not like we're looping, but we are, and that's why I think, it's really important to live a good life that you feel happy and satisfied with, because every moment of your life is eternal. And you will always be experiencing it, and always have, even though experientially, you're always only in one moment, and you have to go in a chronological timeline. Anyway, I'm talking too much.
No, and
you can sleep first.
I am absorbing.
But that's what I think. It's not a belief. I don't do belief.
Right. And I like that belief in that, or, I like that thought. Because, it emphasizes the importance of experience rather than just existence.
Right.
Because existence, the way you have it described there, is somewhat depressing in the sense that, like, I am, was, and always will be, but I can only experience now within this stopgap of, my lifespan here on Earth. To where once my existence is viewed at from the outside, whether, my experiences might change, but I won't retain those experiences based on how you described it, to where, I'm born, I have episodes, I live, and I die. Whereas with an existential time,
it's all at once.
It's all at once. But that seems to me like it sounds like I have no consciousness at that point.
See, I think if you take if everyone, like, if you say there is a higher dimensional version of me who is also the higher dimensional version of you, and we're fractals of that same higher dimensional self, but then it just goes, like, to the point where everyone is connected. Like, if all the universe is experience.
The Human Instrumentality Project.
The what?
You need to watch Neon Genesis.
Oh, okay. It's on my list. I'll watch it. But, like, the thing is, like, once you get to the top, you do not have agency. Like,
right.
The actual supreme being, the supreme consciousness, it's completely outside of time and within it. It's like everything. It is experiencing everything simultaneously. Every parallel timeline, every point in time and space, in every parallel universe. It's experiencing all of that existence simultaneously. So there is no learning. There is no changing your mind. There is no discovering. There is no questioning. There only is. Like, everything simply is. So, like, we need, like, that's what I think is that it's not like experientially the universe was formed during the Big Bang. And time, though we cannot fathom the depth of it, will eventually end. But existentially, it's always there. The Big Bang and the end of the universe, and right now, just like that. And it's not like it came into existence. It simply is. To say it always was is inaccurate, and that it always will be is inaccurate, because that requires time. But it exists in infinity, and so infinity does not experience time. It is time. It's everything, and you have to be in it to experience it. And if something isn't experienced, it doesn't exist. And so in order for us to exist, we must experience. Like, the infinity must experience itself. And so these timelines, like these space-time realities, simply are. Because they can't not be. Like, if that makes sense.
No, and the only thing that I'm thinking is that it's somewhat depressing and tragic. Because all the things that your perception of a higher consciousness is, related to, sounds incredibly boring. Like, Like not
like
learn,
the highest.
Like
well,
there's
it
nothing
doesn't
to
know.
learn. Right, it doesn't know.
It can't even know. Like, so it wouldn't be bored.
Right.
It's nothing, but that's why all experience happens at lower levels.
Right, which is why I'm glad to be here.
Right, but you're also there. You are also that thing. That's what I'm thinking. It's like we're all fractals at different levels of infinity. Because infinity can't exist unless it experiences.
Mm.
And experiences can't happen without existence. It's a paradox.
I don't want to go to the higher conscious.
Inevitable. But see, you're already there.
Yeah, I'd rather reincarnate.
And see, I think that happens too.
Yeah.
I think it's, I think, it's part of our chronological journey to perhaps live multiple lifetimes chronologically, you know? Perhaps.
So I couldn't be reincarnated into the 18th century?
I mean, but you've already been there, if that's the way it works. And I guess when you leave this shell behind, you'll remember that. I would think. If your actual self, I think of it as like playing a video game sometimes. It's like the avatar is the person and doesn't know that there's a remote control and doesn't know that there's someone manipulating that remote control. Just running through life, killing mushrooms and stuff, jumping through pipes. Then game over happens. Game over. But you're sitting there having experienced the game and you're not over. And I think of the controller as can be a brain. If the controller's not working, your body doesn't work right. But there's a higher being behind it that does know better. So you're not actually senile. Your actual self is struggling to communicate with the avatar through the brain. It's like if consciousness comes into the brain rather than the brain generates consciousness. It's kind of like that. I'm rambling, sorry.
No, I'm enjoying it.
Oh, good.
Give me a brain blast over here.
That's good. That's good. It's weird having someone here for this.
I bet.
I like it.
Just think of me as your inner conscious.
I do already. Thought that's who you were. You're my Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah, I mean, all I want from an afterlife is to, I don't know, I want to see some nebulas.
Heck yeah.
I want to just reincarnate until I can see the Milky Way collide with Andromeda.
Mm-hmm.
And look up into the night sky and see a literal galaxy approaching.
Mm-hmm.
And,
and
2 billion years or something, where on the horizon there's just a galaxy, a spiral that you can see approaching that's still
coming right
billions
for
of
us.
light years away.
You get your shotgun out. It's coming right for us.
Ain't taking my daughter.
You alien galaxy. Get out of here. Get out of my yard. But yeah.
Because when they've shown dramatizations, on, what is that show with Neil deGrasse Tyson?
He does a lot of them.
Yeah, it was the one he did for Netflix recently. I think it was...
Was it
the Cosmos? It was the Cosmos.
I couldn't remember if that was Netflix, but yeah.
And
it
may have been Disney Plus.
Oh, I think he did do something on Disney Plus.
All I know is that they did a dramatization and where he got off his little rocket ship and was standing on Earth and fast forward billions of years, and was just showing what the skyline would look like, and I was just like, why does my lifespan have to be so short?
Right? No, any shows like that, that's how I feel.
Because I want to see that.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, go out into the country and look up at the night sky, and it is ridiculous.
I love that, just staring up at all the stars you can't see in Dallas.
You see a star here in Dallas.
You see a star.
And then, but then it starts moving, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
It's a plane.
How disappointing.
Yeah.
Twinkle, you wish upon an airplane.
Wish upon an airplane in Dallas.
Hold still, I'm trying to make a wish.
Yeah. But you go out there into, West Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and out there where there's nothing, and you damn well might be getting picked up by some aliens.
Yeah, see, I don't want to hang out in the country. I don't want to get abducted by aliens.
We do, because they're out there.
Almost.
Swear, man. And it's almost frightening looking up at the night sky out there in the country, because you start hearing them sounds.
Right.
Start getting a little paranoid.
Right.
Like, I'm not even afraid of the coyotes and the mountain lions. I'm more afraid of getting scooped up by the observers.
Yeah. The visitors. Yeah, I don't want that. I mean, if it weren't, like, if the way people report alien abductions and such is accurate, then, yeah, I don't want that. Like, I would want to meet extraterrestrials if they weren't going to put horrifying needles in my eyes and
in my butt.
Yeah, and
take my eyes, just not my butt.
Make me do the horizontal hokey pokey with some other abductee to make some alien to make alien human hybrid babies.
Depends if she's hot or not.
I mean, to an extent, but I would rather get to know my alien lover a little bit first.
Have dinner in a movie.
Yeah, dinner in a movie. Probably not alien. I mean,
Netflix and chill with
with an alien. Netflix and chill first. But see, if they were nice enough to accommodate, could we maybe get some Netflix in this room and be like, oh, yeah, sure thing. Just you take your time. You're at the sperm bank or something. Oh, they bring you in some magazines. I don't know.
I've never been.
I've never been either, but I've heard about it. I've heard stories.
Sounds fun. We should take a group trip.
Group trip to the sperm bank. 30 years later, we meet all our kids that we never knew.
That we're not supposed to know about.
Yeah, but there are hundreds of them. Right, but where was I? Yeah, so aliens. I would want to talk to these people and not have my mind scrambled so I don't remember. I'd have questions. I'd have so many questions for a spacefaring race, intelligent race like that is advanced beyond us. I'd have questions about what have you discovered about the nature of the universe, about the nature of reality. How long have you been observing this planet? Do you have movies of dinosaurs?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
We were planted here.
That's another possibility.
I see it as we were abducted, accelerated evolution, then reintroduced.
I like that idea, though. I think that's very likely.
And now we're being studied. I think we're being cultivated to be information analysts for some sort of fleet of, some sort of galactic civilization. Because humans are adaptable and pretty damn good at information processing.
Yeah.
So I think we're not exactly a physically strong species either. So I think I think we're being cultivated for some sort of logistical role in some sort of galactic hierarchy.
I would hope so. I mean, I like that better than the implications of the Mesopotamian myths, the oldest mythologies. Basically say, the gods came down, did what you said, the manipulated apes genetically. Didn't use those terms in ancient texts, but that's what they're describing. Is the gods came down, basically forced some evolution to create the slave race, the human race.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you know this about humans, but we don't like that.
Yeah.
We do not do well in captivity, so we made a terrible slave race, as it turns out, and they ditched us here.
Yeah.
That sounds a lot like aliens coming down and doing something, but it's not cultivating, it's ditching. But I think they come back because they're interested, because we have done things for ourselves.
Yeah, but I think it's all according to the invisible hand that they've laid out for us.
Possibly.
Like, I think they're seeing way bigger picture, and it's not that they...
Surely, absolutely.
They realized that a direct approach, like, they realized early on, probably, like you said, that we don't make a good slave race.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they moved to the contingency of cultivation towards higher intelligence.
Right, because we had it. Like, because I think what it is in the myth is that it's kind of like they injected the apes with God DNA, basically.
Right.
So it's kind of like we are hybrids, and we got a lot of intelligence. So yeah, I think we'd be interesting as what are the possibilities and where can we guide this to our advantage, because if we were created for the advantage of a spacefaring race, surely they're still looking for ways to
use us.
Yeah.
They haven't ended us yet,
Mm-hmm.
but that's more than likely because we don't pose any threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's, I worry about like all these billionaires going into space. Like if that's how we get off of this planet and become an interplanetary species, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because it's bad. It's very bad. Capitalism breeds slavery, in my opinion. It's not... If we take what we have here and it's like all about the rich and powerful maintaining wealth and power, yeah. And if that goes out into space, and we're not going to be anyone's friends. No one is going to like the humans when we start spreading out. If we're all about exploiting people and using up resources without any concern for just destroying the planet, we'd be like interstellar locusts.
Yeah. The things that we make out aliens to be is what we would become.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I feel like if we allow ourselves to advance into a peaceful global community before we go and colonize the solar system, then that's the attitude that we'll take forward. Like unity and peace and respect for the planets that we colonize, and that's the way I would rather it happen, but it looks like it's happening.
Yeah.
With the billionaires getting out there and...
Well, yeah, it's just like what the Visitor said in The Day the Earth Stood Still.
I have not seen that. My mom loved that movie.
Yeah, where he says to the protagonist, they say, this is our planet. And he just looks at him and says, your planet? And he's like, how many habitable planets do you think there are? This is alone, and you're only living on this planet. You don't own it, and you're destroying it, and we can't have that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of the idea that, like, life on Earth is a miracle by most metrics.
Yeah.
And so if we are being observed by some sort of higher intelligence species or civilization, collection of species, then likely when we get to the point where we have really screwed up the planet, it very well may be that, this is such a rare planet that they can't have that.
Mm-hmm.
And...
Yeah, I could see that too. Like, maybe they would stop us. Like, again, if the reports are true about...
Right. But then
like
again...
flying over military bases and shutting down nuclear weapons.
Right.
Like, if that report is true, then, yeah, maybe they will step in if we destroy a treasure in the solar system. Like, they're not going to let us, because this is the only world like this. This is the only world with... It's like, well, I guess for us, it's the most habitable world, but it's just so, like, diverse. It has diverse ecosystems all over it, and different climates and things, like, whereas a lot of the other planets, it's pretty much Mars. That's what Mars is like. The entire planet is this desert wasteland, and it's cold. So yeah, I would think, do you ever wonder, like, maybe if they're not even, like if they live here, like, underwater or something, the ocean that we haven't explored the depths of, like, whether they're from another planet or not, like, perhaps they have already colonized it, just away from human settlements.
I mean, I could see that, but I feel like if there was another civilization under the water that was... If I'm understanding what you're implying is that they're unaware of us as much as we're unaware of them.
No, I'm saying they're aware of us.
Okay.
Like, they have colonized this planet
to their liking. They have no need for the surface.
Spaceships we see, like the UFOs, are coming and going from, like, a lot of times they are coming and going from the water.
From the water.
And that's why I wonder, like, are there already colonies here, and they're just keeping separate from us?
Well, right, because maybe they don't need the surface.
Right.
Maybe they don't need... Maybe their species can't breathe in, methane.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's too much of it in our atmosphere, and so they choose to live underwater.
Yeah.
And
it could be something like that.
And, let those humans do what they will on the surface.
As
we have what
they
we
don't
need.
Destroy the planet.
Right. Maybe they don't need the fish in the ocean, so they don't care about overfishing and pollution and whatnot, because they have what they need, which may be geothermal energy, which you could get the most of at the bottom of the ocean.
Mm-hmm. True. I don't know, but yeah, I'd love to have a conversation with one of them.
It's probably incomprehensible, though.
Yeah, I would think so.
It'd be like going to school all over again, all the knowledge you'd probably...
Right, you'd suddenly be in preschool again.
Right.
It's like learning red light, green light kind of things. Here's how you sit, don't pick your nose. Like, that's the level we'd be at the feet of these advanced beings. It would be embarrassing.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the hegemony of man. Yeah, pride of man would definitely take a hit.
Oh yeah. Which wouldn't be a bad thing entirely. The pride of man could stand to take a hit, in my opinion.
Several.
Yeah.
From Mike Tyson.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like we're just so... It's like humans are the only animals who forget they're animals.
Right.
Like, we're part of this world.
That's the thing about evolution that always messes me up, is it's just so unbelievable that a species like humans could exist naturally.
Mm-hmm. But
it's
really, like, technically impossible for the universe to exist under its own rules.
Right.
Which is what led me to my "it just is."
Yeah. The ultimate dissection of it is what it is.
Yeah, pretty much. But where did I go from? I lost my train of thought. I think I've passed away.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. I will. There is another Skywalker. And then I die. I'm gonna try, like, I'm gonna try to say that as my last. Whoa. You look like Palpatine. Somehow you came back.
Yet again.
Always. He comes back. He's possessed Matt.
The dark side.
I forgot what I was gonna say about aliens. Oh well. It doesn't matter. Whoa.
I wish I was a ring wraith.
You're not? Then what's with all the, like, standing over me when I'm asleep and just going like what's that all about if you're not a ring wraith?
I'm a former king of Gondor.
Which has got to be a euphemism for something. I don't know what.
I'll show you my king of Gondor. I'm like the
king of Gondor.
I'm like the Nazgul Youre beast.
Filthy.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
and so like
That's what. Okay, I wasn't telling that story on camera. I won't go back to that then.
yeah, no, whatever.
Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, no, don't go back to that one. Nobody out there wants to hear about that besides maybe everybody.
Right.
No, I got nothing.
You were gonna say something.
No. I was gonna go back. I could talk about aliens all freaking night, man.
Oh yeah.
You ever seen The Fourth Kind?
Yeah, you recommended it to me. Like one time, I was like years ago. I was at Movie Trading Company, and I'm just like, I want to watch a movie. This was before Netflix, so I'm like, I'll text Matt Paul, and I did, and I said, hey, I'm at Movie Trading Company. What movie should I watch? You said The Fourth Kind. So I got it, and I watched it.
The movie fucked me up, man.
Yeah.
I could not sleep after that. Yeah, I was like, dude, it's not an owl. It's not an owl.
Right?
And, dude.
Oh, that was kind of gut-wrenching.
Especially because they played it like they were portraying real people.
Yes.
And, like, I legit, like, my 14, 15-year-old self thought this was, like, straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
real, like a documentary,
like a documentary dramatization. And, like, especially how they did it with the credits where they showed, like, where they are now in like, text form.
Right.
Like, the girl was never found again. You know, mom's a paraplegic now.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, a dude.
Yeah.
You know, the doctor refuses to comment, or the professor dude that was, like, knowledgeable about Mesopotamia, like, refuses to answer any questions or respond to interviews about what he saw that night. And
yeah. Now I want to watch that again, but
not me.
It's creepy.
It is. I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are the kind of alien encounters I could do without.
Absolutely. I'm gonna take my daughter.
And like aliens from the Alien movies. You know, like
oh yeah, but that's all
crap.
That's all capitalism, dude.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
If the billionaires colonize space,
they will find
aliens.
some xenomorphs
Yeah.
and try to militarize them.
Yup.
And they will get loose and fuck shit up.
Yup.
God.
That's the thing.
Because that's what happened.
Billionaires.
Because that's what happened.
Yeah, it was all about corporate greed. That's right.
Greed.
That's what the alien films were about. And that's how I look at movies. Like, I never look at it on the surface level. It's like, Jaws is about politics, dirty politics, and Alien is about corporate greed.
Yeah, and and Signs is about finding God.
Yeah, Signs is about finding God, and Tokyo Ghoul is about bisexuality.
Yeah.
Like, nothing is what it... Because it's... Artistic expression is like, it's a dream. So you're interpreting the dream. Like, something came from someone's subconscious into this story, and it's telling us something about them, about their experience, about humanity, about the human experience. It's great.
Yeah, the problem is like I'm such a whore for those sorts of artistic expressions. That
I was about to just say, when you said I'm such a whore, I was about to say yep.
Yeah.
But go on, you aren't finished.
No.
You're a whore for those artistic expressions.
But like, because I love gleaming those, like those perspectives and outlooks.
Yes.
And like the lessons and all of those things. But like, because I'm such a whore for them, as soon as I glean something from one, I want to find the next. And so I never actually, like, it's rare for me to apply anything that like I've gleaned from any sorts of things because of how much I want to jump to the next one.
Right.
And so like, I may end up being a tome of parables and lessons that
That's awesome.
But that I've never experienced for myself. And it's sort of tragic and beautiful in the way that that's how I enjoy spending my time. Is not by actually going out and putting myself in the situations that I see expressed artistically and sort of trying to use the methods that I've witnessed and the thinking in order to try to solve my own life problems. Rather, I end up not having many to begin with because of how much I just hunker down and basically watch, read, and learn.
Right. But that's an experience in itself.
True.
It's a unique experience in itself. It's like, we're the storyteller animal. We're addicted to narrative.
God,
it's yeah, and like, the thing is, when we tell a story, we experience it. And when we're told a story, we experience it. So like, all of the experiences you're reading through in fiction, you're sharing in. Like, it gives you insight into situations you haven't been in. As though you were experiencing them, because you are actually experiencing it. Not in the same way, like if you're reading about someone being held at gunpoint. If the storyteller conveys that well enough, you get an idea, and your brain tries to process it. You put yourself in the position of the protagonist, or whatever character, and you try to connect with what's happening to them emotionally to the point that you are experiencing it.
Like the death of a very well-developed character can
Yes.
shatter you for a few days or weeks.
Yeah, and that grief is real.
Or, a character that you really love, like, finds their soulmate and gets married, and you can't help but feel like you're in the wedding reception. And like watching your friends get married.
Yes.
And start a new chapter in their life, and it just makes you tear up a little bit.
Like, you're so happy for them.
Right.
They're fictional characters, but you're genuinely happy for them.
It's fulfilling.
Yeah. So it's not like doing that with most of your free time is not filling your life with rich experiences, and it makes you more prepared for any given thing that might randomly come up. But the other side of that is that we compare our lives to the stories we're taking in, like to the action-packed, one moment to the next that's actually relevant to a direct narrative that we see on television and in films. You know, like, and we say, gosh, my life's not that exciting, so my life, I'm wasting my life. I'm not doing anything with my life. When, you know, no one's Indiana Jones. You know, nobody is Luke Skywalker, except for them. And it's like, and they live in a fictional reality. This reality doesn't work like that. So, like, we always feel like the more you take in, the more you feel like you're not doing anything, but you're actually still doing just as much as everyone else. It's just that you're also having these extra experiences.
It's true. It's true. I mean, and that's my thing is like, I quickly like jump ship towards the next one.
Mm-hmm. And you're just taking in more and more and more. But you're saying you don't feel like you're fully processing.
Yeah, it's almost like I jump from one emotion to the next, just to feel it, and then so like in my daily life, I'm like absolutely like drained, is what ends up happening. Is because like I'm constantly like processing the joy and trauma of innumerable characters.
Right.
To where the character of Matt Paul is just like a character processor.
Yeah, you're like a nexus of realities. Is kind of what it is.
Yeah, that's my new band name, by the way.
Nexus of realities?
Yeah.
I get credit.
Yeah. But no, and so like when I'm working, I'm just like thinking about the outcome of events and the different possible paths that characters could have taken, and
he's welcome to my mind.
Yeah.
Like writing novels. That's so draining. Because I'm in there experiencing these emotional things with these characters. That's why, these 2 chapters I'm about to write are so intense. I have to have so much energy, and I know it, before I can actually sit down, shut everything else out, and plug into these really dramatic moments. Because I'm going to feel it. It's going to wipe me out to write them. And it's good. It's good stuff. It's just high energy, high emotion, high drama, and yeah, so I get it. Like, if you're constantly taking in emotional stories, you're going to be wiped out.
Yeah, that's what happened to me this week.
Right? Because you read like 800 books.
Yeah.
800 chapters of like some multiple series. You're a machine.
And it was... And that's the thing, is like right now I'm still riding that high, but like my body is like giving out to the point where like my dreams just go to town on like all of the characters and all of the scenarios and all of the paths, to where like I've said before, I'll be reading a series and I don't want to put it down, and so I'll read it till the moment I fall asleep, and then in my mind makes up the rest. Like continues the story on. Yeah. And then I wake up, most of the time I wake up pissed. Because I feel like the story has been spoiled for me. Because I haven't processed yet that none of what I just dreamt about happened.
Right.
And so then I get to, and then it feels like I have to like go back and reread and overwrite the series of events that I came up with unconsciously or subconsciously.
Right. It's a fun way of getting new stories in your head. Like, you get 2 stories for the price of 1.
Honestly, that's how I've begun to look at it, but at the same time I wake up drained.
Oh, right.
Because while I was asleep, my subconscious was just going nuts writing and experiencing. And so like, and oftentimes it'll shock me awake. Like if something shocking happens in my new brain novel,
yeah,
it'll shock me awake before I'm supposed to wake up. And then because now I have been dreaming about it all night, I'm pissed, I want to keep reading.
Yeah.
But I know that I only went to bed 4 hours ago. And so I might fight through it a couple chapters or something, then fall back asleep and dive right back in. Go right back into REM sleep and just, go into a dream state again. And then I wake up late for work.
Right. And that's bad, I guess.
Yeah, and then I'm too tired to go to Glenn's house.
Oh, yeah. You're never too tired to go to Glenn's house.
Obviously. Ain't that the truth?
It is. It certainly is. It ain't the truth.
As they say in my hometown.
Which is...
No telling that.
Hometown, USA.
Hometown, USA. That's probably what I would name a town.
That's a good name for a town.
Only the homies.
Oh well. I don't know. Maybe I can go to sleep now.
I think I'll be able to fall asleep.
You think you will?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right after Blue Period.
Oh yeah, Blue Period's coming up. Still thinking about Smurfette. That was another conversation in another video. Alright. Hey, well, we're gonna go to sleep.
I'm gonna go back to my house and go to sleep.
Oh yeah, we should clarify that.
Yeah.
Because you did sneak in here. And, I'm gonna go to sleep. Wait. Good night.
Good night.
Thanks for sitting up with us.